Hey, Lifestyle Coach Craig here, and I'm coming to you with our new fancy graphics. Hope you're enjoying this video. I wanted to let you know that we won't be doing our standard call this week, but I also wanted to kind of give you a big picture sort of update on the coaching process. And as I'm trying to grow in my health coaching skills, there's three primary conferences that I go to every year. We have the entry level one, kind of a mid-level one, and an advanced one. Each one of those, the mid-level and advanced one, you have to qualify for. And this is the mid-level one, and it's always in February. And this year it's in Atlanta, so I'll be gone through the weekend. But one of the things I wanted to also take an opportunity to do is just have this idea of when we started working together. The idea is that you wanted to lose some weight, but then you wanted to get rid of some weight. And so that process of getting rid of the weight means that you have to learn to do something that's different than you've always done. And so I took that and didn't necessarily really challenge you to learn, to read, to listen, to do the things that we need to do in order to grow. And so I've made a challenge to myself and to some of you that if you don't take the time to learn to do something you've never done, then you'll never do it. And so if you think about it, you've always lost weight and gained it. You've never lost weight and maintained it, or not for a long period of time. And so that's the whole idea that I'm trying to do myself and teach you to do. That's what you hired me for, essentially. So all that to say is there's kind of three main options. It's listening to something, reading something, and then writing something. Those are the three primary ways that we can get stuff stuck in this head of ours. I call it going from Teflon to Velcro, right? A lot of things that I hear or listen just are Teflon. They slide in and slide out. And I'm trying to create some Velcro up there, right? So you can listen to a weekly podcast. Now there's three different options for those, but the primary one that I want to focus you in on is called Crave Optimal Health Podcast. See the graphics here? So if you go to iTunes and search for Crave Optimal Health, you'll be able to find the weekly podcast. Since this first week in January, we started at the first chapter in Dr. A's Habits of Health. So we're at the 7th week now. And so we're on chapter 7. We'll record that tomorrow. But so I'd like you to listen along at least one podcast a week, 30 minutes. Now, if you want to do a little better, you can listen to the podcast while you're reading the chapter. We will actually refer to the chapter. Sometimes there's a reference to a specific page, something like that. And so you can be listening along while we go through the chapter, right? And if you want the biggest bang for your buck and for your time, do the workbook lesson in the Living a Longer, Healthier Life companion guide as well. So that's my recommendation. In addition to that, a weekly connection with me just to check in to see how you're doing, what you're learning, any questions that you have, if you want to break down a topic. Another great reason to connect with me is if you have like a banquet or a potluck or a vacation or something like that. We can talk strategies for that. And then for those of you that are getting close to your goal weight, we need to talk about transition, which is phase 2. Transition is often skipped in this process. People go from the weight loss phase or the diet mentality, and then they don't go to something new because they oftentimes haven't learned enough, so they go back to the old. And so what I want to do and encourage you, give you perspective, is the 5-in-1 is the weight loss phase. You're going to learn some skills there that you're going to need in phase 2. And then phase 2, you're going to learn some skills that you'll need in phase 3. Phase 3 is sustainable weight loss. Sustainable. So we get you to a healthy weight and we keep you there. And there's some definite mad skills you're going to need to do that if that's what you really want. And then once you've learned how to maintain your weight, the next step really is, what do you want to make better? There's a whole lot more to life than just weight loss or weight gain. There's, doing things with this new body that you built. So there's the idea. Covered a lot of detail here. I'll be back next week, and I'd love to hear from you, especially if we haven't talked in a while. I'd love to hear from you. But if we've been talking and you've been following along, great. I'd love to get a text from you of your current weight, the last chapter that you read, the last podcast you listened to. And I'll look forward to connecting again soon. Take care.